Welcome to Interactive Webinars for Small and Home-Based Businesses. I'm Karen Reddy-Penning with Monarch Empowerment Coaching, and today we are going to be discussing receipts. We are presenting in collaboration with Renee Morin of EBC Services Incorporated and Matthew Obulafor of APED Canada Incorporated. Tonight, Renee is going to be talking to us about receipts.
Thank you, Karen. This is a fun presentation all about receipts. What is a receipt? It's a paper record of an agreement, purchase, return, sale, exchange, or warranty service. A receipt might be your computer purchase and warranty. Don't lose that. A meal receipt, a gas receipt, a purchase invoice for products, anything to do with your inventory, such as packing slips, invoices, order forms, return forms, receipts for payment, which could be cash, credit card, debit, wire transfer, direct deposit. Receipts confirm all your business activities, and they involve your day-to-day business transactions. They also support all of your sales journals. I'm often asked, do I really need to keep all those receipts? They're on my credit card. And my suggestion is absolutely. Every transaction that results in adding inventory to your product line, selling products and services, purchasing equipment, delivery, meetings, training, and providing a receipt for payment received are necessary for your business records. What can happen is that if you have a credit card bill and you can't justify that credit card with a receipt, is that deduction may be denied in an audit. So keep your paper receipts, make sure they match up to your credit or debit card receipts. Make sure that you've got everything related to all your purchases and expenses for your business. The reason that you should be matching up your receipts to your credit card is to protect yourself from fraudulent charges. I was recently working with a client and there was a charge on her MasterCard, and she said, oh yes, that belongs to Company X. When I pulled out the receipt for Company X, she'd been charged by Company Y on that bill, not Company X, different company name, similar, not the same one. She had a fraudulent charge on her credit card and was going to contact the credit card company to disallow that charge. But the name was similar to a company she already knew. But when we matched up the receipts, we knew that that was not the case. So it's always best to be in charge of your credit card bill and make sure that you know that all those expenses are truly yours. Make sure you keep the paper receipt, match it to the credit card receipt. What else can a receipt be? Well, it can be a purchase agreement or a rental agreement. What if you're renting office space? That's a receipt. They're going to be charging you, let's say, $1,000 a month for 12 months. That is a receipt. Now, it doesn't represent your payment, it represents your agreement to pay. And that's supporting documentation for the 12 months worth of charges in your bank account. If you have made a donation of office equipment, that donation can be deducted from your business. Volunteering time for services rendered, well, that's something you need to check with your tax accountant. But if you do volunteer time in exchange for service, that may be considered, so it's good to keep track of that. It might just be goodwill, but it's always best to check. If you have a replacement under warranty agreement for a piece of office equipment, let's just say you've bought a multifunction printer and you have a replacement warranty, the printer gets damaged, you need to be able to enact the terms and conditions of your warranty, but if you don't have it, you can't do it. About 3 years ago, I had no word of a lie, I had a pot and pan set that I've had for 20 years. There was a lifetime guarantee on it. I had the receipt. I was able to go into the store and get a brand new pot for the handle that had come off. But I'd had the set for 20 years, but my warranty said lifetime. So keep your receipts. Any work done by a contractor under an agreement supports your business activities. So you have a contractor come in and he does some repairs to your office. That's a receipt for services rendered to support your business, and keep those receipts. If you have inventory records, sometimes these can be the toughest things to do when you have a small business and you're dealing with small items. Make sure that you have the invoice that shows the receipt of the inventory. Make sure you have the credit that has been given to you for the return. And then you know the difference if there's been an adjustment or a restocking fee, that kind of thing. Any commission records, if you're an agent, keep those. That's your income. That's proof of what you were paid for X number of hours of activity, etc. Keep all of the reports that you receive if you're an agent. Those indicate number of hours that you might have spent in your business. They indicate travel. They would indicate training and other activities. Keep all of those reports as well. This is always a good question because we know that there's a problem with some of the inks that are used on the waxy paper. Sometimes they fade or the ink will rub off. Have you ever been for lunch and you take out your receipt and there's a little bit of water on your hand from the condensation of your glass and it rubs off the ink on the paper? Be very careful with your receipts. It's recommended that once you've done your taxes, scan all of your receipts so that way if the original receipt fades, you have an electronic copy. It's a good way to protect your business. Are these receipts parking receipts? Yes. Parking tickets? No. How about alcohol in a meal receipt? Generally no, but it's best to check with your accountant. How about tips on a meal receipt? Yes, you would keep that receipt. You should declare it. If you have receipts with no tax on them, absolutely. If you buy a product for which you have not paid tax, but the product is used in your business, it's part of what you're building your business with. Even if you haven't been charged tax on it, you need to record the purchase. Clothing, only if it's work-related. Gifts and promotions, depending on your business, those might be allowed, but don't assume anything. Keep your receipts, review them with your accountant, and then register what will fit your business. How about these? Packing slips for good orders. There's no money on that. There's no cost. It's just showing quantity. I don't need to keep them. Yes, we recommend that you do. And we recommend that you keep them because they show proof that goods were ordered, goods were shipped, goods were returned. Keep your packing slips. It's a good idea. Also, if you send 10 back and you're only credited for 9 and your packing slip says 9, you can't argue the fact that you sent 10 back if the packing slip says 9. So it's good to protect your business that way. How about utilities, property taxes, maintenance, and rent? Yes, keep those. How about if you had home repairs done in your home office? Yes, that is a receipt for services rendered. Building repairs. You own a building and you've had your asphalt repaved. Or you rent a building, and in the building space you're in, you put an awning on. Yes, that's a building repair. And you would keep that receipt. Whether it's deductible or not is really going to be part of the formula of calculating your overall income and taxes that will be required to be paid, but keep the receipts. How about these? Personal expenses. It's always best to check with your accountant because you may not be allowed personal expenses. If you're an advertising executive who travels all over the world and you need to have certain types of clothing, certain types of personal expenses, they may be allowed, they may not be. Pet sitting and daycare, same thing, check with your accountant. Exchange your product without cost. If your inventory is going to be affected, even if there's a $0 effect, keep the receipt. Samples of product. Well, you're going to be getting samples from your, let's see, your distributor for a home-based product. You could be getting free samples. There's no cost. But if you're going to be showing this product or sharing this product, you need to know when you received it and who you received it from and the date of it if there's an expiry date. So those are receipts you're not going to put in your taxes, but those are receipts you need to keep in your inventory. So in conclusion, consider that receipts represent all business activities for your business that involve your business itself, your suppliers, your customers. For goods and services, you will need to provide. So how can you charge someone if you don't know what you were charged? Keep all your bills. Keeping your receipts will enable you to protect all areas of your business, obtain service when you need it, manage your inventory, support your customers' needs, and prepare your income tax annual return. And if you're not sure what receipts you should keep them all, organize them, review them with your accountant, and you'll know for the next year how to proceed step by step to protect your business, and keep all of them with your annual tax return.
Thanks, Renee. And thanks for all those tips and reminders as well. This time of year with taxes right upon us, I'm going to be definitely looking at these last two presentations myself to make sure I haven't missed anything. So that concludes today's presentation, and we encourage you to catch us again next time when we do our next presentation.